Welcome with Jeremy Knows. We're here again to help, to provide some value. And I know that most of the time you're tapping into my content to get that sweet VFriends alpha. But today we have a more important topic at hand, and that is NFT security, which you probably saw from the title. So I'm going to give a few minutes for folks to join the live stream. We're live on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Twitter. And I'm just going to share this out. And then we'll also record this on the podcast. So thanks for watching the replay. I hope you enjoy it. Good morning to Gas Fairy. Let me actually also call up Twitch so I can jam a bit in the comments. And then we'll get started in just a minute. Nice. We got 6 people on Twitter. What's up, Twitter? How you doing? I hear some audio. Oh, it's from this. Very good. Very good. Although I have, you'll see I'm signing in as VFriends on Twitch. I've just been holding this tag for them since like kind of early days of making VFriends content. This is not an affiliated VFriends channel. Wait, which one is my? Oh, you sent it by SMS. I was like, I don't have a Twitch authenticator. Here we go. So speaking of security, it's very important to always use two-factor authentication. SMS is actually not the most sorry for that. SMS is not the most secure version of two-factor authentication. It's more secure to use a use what's called an authenticator app. You can get a Google Authenticator, or there are other apps that are tied directly to your primary device. The reason for that is you can be victim to what's called SIM swapping, and that is essentially where a malicious actor acquires a phone and a SIM card and gets enough personal information about you to present as you to your phone company and have them reset your SIM card, therefore acquiring your text messages on that device, then go and reset your passwords on, for example, Twitter or another social app, receive the two-factor authentication SMS, which goes to their phone now, and then lock you out of what they're doing and then potentially post malicious links. So we're going to be talking about a lot of various things that you can do to protect yourself and some like need to know information. You know, I want to also add that I am not an expert in this regard. I simply have just been sort of navigating the seas of risk in the NFT space, as we all have, and I've picked up some tips and tricks. So I'll look to share that with you here. I want to see if I can I keep the sound off? Join my own live stream and comment? No, I can't. Okay, no worries. That's fine. Cool. So hey, Ian, hope you're doing well. And let me go back to Twitter so I can join in the comments a bit. I just got a tweet from the Nerd Assassin, said, did VFriends see any sort of floor movement before, after, or during VCon last year? That's a good question. I feel like they did. I feel like things were definitely moving. And let me sorry for the feedback. I'll turn the sound down. I just want to be able to say hi to everybody on Twitter. Okay. So let's jump into it, shall we? Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Jeremy Knows podcast, the one place where VCon never ends. I'm your host, Jeremy, Heart Trooper 7, and I know that typically you tap into the podcast to get that sweet, sweet VFriends alpha, but today we have an even more topic at hand, and that is NFT security. There have been some significant members of the community who have recently been compromised, and I felt it was just a good time to review some basic security practices to diversify your risk when you're navigating this space. Be aware that um, you should verify the information that I'm providing to you. You can do that with various trusted Twitter accounts, on Google. Just generally, I think one takeaway from being in the space now for 20 months is, as often as possible, do not trust, but verify the information that you're receiving. So just want to make it clear that, like, I'm not a security expert. I don't know technically how a lot of these things work, but I have picked up a lot of tips and tricks that you should know as you're going into whatever the next chapter of your NFT journey is. So broadly, what we're going to be covering today is your cryptocurrency wallet seed phrase, the devices you use, and the emotions or mindset that you have when interacting with them. Those are kind of what I have identified as like the three major pillars that can affect your crypto and NFT security. And it's important as much as possible to be aware of various attack vectors that you could be vulnerable to. And lastly, but in a general sense, what I'll say is, with crypto prices on the rise this week, and with it being a fledgling, very infant space in which a lot of people are coming for, to try to make a little money, to try to make smart investments, to share their art, even just coming in as creatives. By entering the crypto space, you are agreeing to take sovereignty of the value that you own. This is a true paradigm shift in the way that we as a society interact with value and money. And with that comes a great deal of responsibility. There's no undo on the blockchain. Once you do it, it's completed. And there have been moments in which the community has rallied to support people who have been compromised. But the reality is that, by and large, the majority of the compromise that you hear, people losing punks, losing apes, getting their wallets drained, are avoidable if certain preventative things were implemented. And I also want to add that it's not a reflection of your intelligence or your care for what you're doing, because anybody can be targeted, become a victim, and make mistakes. And so when we're talking about security, it's very important to recognize that you want to be in a focused and lucid place to put guardrails in place for your most vulnerable self. And the thing that tends to make us vulnerable more than anything else is our emotions. So there are a lot of phishing types, and because scammers are so incentivized to develop new techniques because it's so quickly lucrative for them when one is successful, it's important to always be on your guard. So what are broadly some of the types of scams we see? We see a lot of fake collections or imposter accounts. That is when, for example, the Yuga Labs other side is pumping or doing a lot of volume, and you might be received an airdrop, as I did, that was to othercoda.io, and it claimed I could claim a free coda, which, if you're not familiar with that is valued at least 10 or 12 ETH. That's a lot of money. We also see imposter accounts. You might see imposter accounts of president of VFriends, Andy Kranak, who has had a lot of accounts pop up on Instagram, or I can even show you as I have them called up here. Here is the official Utes account, Y00TS NFT, and here's an imposter account, NFT_YOOTS. Now, so let's stay on this one for a moment. What are some tells that can indicate to us we're looking at the actual official site? Now, let me just tangent to say, these official sites, like even the official Utes page, can become compromised. So it's always important to verify where you're going. Uh, any reputable person in the space or project is not going to do some kind of flash mint or ask you to connect your wallet and spend money very, very, very fast. If you're seeing those FOMO marketing tactics implemented and you're not and like FOMO in the space is obviously a marketing tool, but if you're not given ample time to understand what you're buying into, if it's just like when we saw Beeple compromised at last year's VCon, the tweet that the scammer tweeted was something like, I want to reward people who don't have access to my artwork, and so here's a free mint for the first 100 people, and people rushed in, and through that, instead of minting a token, they were actually approving a signature that is known as an approval for all, which allowed the controller on the other side of that smart contract to approve transactions for all collections in the wallet. So I guess this is a very technical thing to understand when you're interacting with your wallet. You'll see this often in marketplaces, like a very reputable marketplace like blur.io. When you list a token there, it will ask you to sign for permissions to approve transfers for all tokens within that collection. That's because because by listing it, you're agreeing that somebody can give you cryptocurrency in exchange for it, and Blur on your behalf can transfer that token to the buyer. That's perfectly fine. What happens in these scams is it approves all of the collections in your wallet as opposed to one by one based on their listings. And I know that this can feel very overwhelming, sort of like a technical barrier to understanding. But just at all times, I think, sort of some of the pillars of safety are verify the source. Don't be first. I know that acting quickly can be very profitable in the space in the right moments, but it's not worth losing your assets over. So, it only takes a couple of minutes to reach out in a group chat that you're in. Be like, hey, did you see this? Is this real? Go to the official Discord and verify that there hasn't been some kind of hack. Is this really a free claim? I will add that like I called up this DM I got today. Greetings, my name is William. I hope you're having a productive day. I am a crypto enthusiast from Singapore, which they misspelled. I would like to talk to you about promoting our project. We're offering you $300 for 3 tweets about our project. And I get like half a dozen of these every few days. If someone's telling you you won some Bitcoin, you just have to go claim it here, or you won 7 Ethereum or something, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. I assume that this person is trying to compromise me by getting me to either connect my wallet to their website or interact with a website that will ask me to download malware or something of that kind. And like going back to some tells of how we can just by looking at the account we're dealing with, see if it's a fraudulent account, not necessarily when the real account is compromised. This person is not followed by anyone that I'm following. And if I go into their Twitter, they're simply retweeting some pre-mints. I don't see any original content. That's not necessarily a tell, but really like the fact that no one I know is following them is a big red flag. And that's the tell that I have here for Utes as well. Nearly 1,000 people that I follow are following Utes, and they have 106,000 followers, and their link points to Magic Eden. I happen to know that the official site for Magic Eden is magiceden.io. Now, there is the off chance that even these legitimate websites get compromised. So it's important to be thoughtful. But that looks good. If I go to the fake Utes account, I can see they have 18,000 followers. They are actually, it looks like they're pointing to the official Utes website, which is y00ts.com. But this could very easily be a imposter site, somebody that basically copycatted the official site, and these zeros could be O's. A very a very common scam that I don't see as often, but still very much happens is copycat sites like this that replace maybe like an L for a capital I, or instead of .com, it'll be .xyz. And you like I said, always verify, don't trust. Go back to the official sources. Go to the Utes Discord or the VFriends Discord or whatever project you're interacting with, and ask a moderator, verify, is this the right link? Most of these Discords have support tickets where you can have private conversations, or you can just ask in the general chats. Typically, these projects are very helpful, and members in the community are always looking out to help people who are unfamiliar with some of these scam tactics to make sure that they're safe. Another tell here is that the pin tweet for the Utes page is content based. See a lot of interaction, and this is content. Whereas the pin tweet on this fake account is directing me to a Google form. Now, I have heard about scams that can be operated via the Google form, but this is probably, I'm not going to click on this link. This is more like a lead generation, like trying to find people who think that this is the real account. But then look at the content even further. Because we're going to Utes, we've decided to raffle off 50 Utes from our treasury. It's not impossible that could happen from a legitimate project, but this is trying to say, look, we have these things that are valuable. You can get one for free. Click through all of our nefarious links so we can socially engineer or phish your content or your security away from you and take advantage of the vulnerability that you want to join the Utes project, for example. I know I'm jumping around a lot, and that's because there are a lot of different kinds of scams. And so, like, let's talk about phishing a little bit. Phishing can occur a number of ways. Typically, it's looking to either steal your Ethereum from a fake mint, replicating a legitimate mint that's popular in the space, or it's looking to get you to set one of these approval for all transactions. Less likely will be some kind of software download that is actually malware. And I guess we're going to talk more about like diversifying your risk a little later, but just always verify that you're at the legitimate site. Check every letter and detail of the web domain. We have also seen, if you were, for example, Googling, I don't know, I think VFriends has done a good job of getting rid of these ads, but previously there would be ads for vfriends.io or vfriends.nft, looking to take advantage of the VFriends community, just looking for the official site. The official site of VFriends is vfriends.com. Another type of scam that's becoming more and more common is referred to as social engineering. So this is a scam in which someone who you're interacting with, perhaps on Twitter or Discord, starts to build a relationship with you. And we've seen these play out over a number of months, really complex schemes where trust is built over a long time. And there becomes an inflection point. Maybe there were red flags, maybe you didn't notice it. And then in that inflection point, they ask you to connect your wallet, and it's actually nefarious. As we hear accounts of a lot of these people who have been compromised, often in retrospect, the red flags are more clear. And often what happens is, like, right after they've compromised themselves, they realize that they made a mistake. So before we go into diversifying risk and getting a hardware wallet, what can you do if you get that far, if you make a mistake? There's a interface called revoke.cash, and we have seen copycats of this website as well, so make sure you're on the proper site. But this site will allow you to connect your wallet and disable any approvals that you have. It's worthwhile to be familiar with this site and just occasionally go in and check how many approvals your wallet has to, OpenSea or Blur or for various websites, and just disable them. You will have to pay gas because this is an on-chain transaction, but believe me, the small cost in gas to keep the number of approvals open on your wallet at a minimum, only those that are absolutely necessary, is well worth the cost when we're talking about potentially losing hundreds or thousands of dollars in the form of crypto and NFTs. So, what you probably hear. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back. I want to go back to phishing really quick, because the main security protocol that you can do is to protect yourself from phishing, as far as it relates to your social accounts, is two-factor authentication. You may use this already, but if you're not familiar, when you're signing into an account, whether that's Twitch or Twitter or Discord, it requires a second device and with a time sensitive code to be inputted to give you access. Now, we have seen some instances in which two-factor authentication has failed. And the reality is that you may take all security protocols necessary and still become the target of a scam and be compromised. But the more that you're aware of these red flags and the more that you practice security protocols, the less likely that will happen. With two-factor authentication, we have seen SMS become compromised a number of times. That's when the security code is sent to your phone via SMS, and it typically becomes compromised when you're the victim of a SIM swap, which very basically means that someone has gathered enough personal information about you to contact your phone company, pose as you, and have your SIM card reset, and they take control of your phone, not of your phone device, but of your phone number, and then go and reset your social channels and receive that two-factor authentication and then lock you out. And this is why, especially after we saw a slew of these hacks last year, that Gary V, creator of VFriends, has committed to always post videos of himself and his face talking when there is a Connect wallet required in order to claim or do any number of these things. He did call out also that, there is the possibility of a deep fake, which is basically a video imposter technique, but those deep fakes are not really at scale yet. And ultimately, let's say, for example, somebody did deepfake Gary V and was able to hack permissions into the VFriends Discord and post this video, even posting it from Gary V's official account. There would be a number of security protocols in place, whether it's Corso and his moderator team or other admins at VFriends, that would not be aware of whatever this deepfake was presenting that you should mint, and would sort of like head that off at the pass. What's unfortunate is there's so many notifications on for these people of prominent influence that even a bad link being out for a couple of minutes can lead to dozens of people getting compromised. So same thing for me. Like, I'm not going to ask you to mint anything, at least from me, without like posting some kind of video, but it can happen. I do my best. I have my two-factor authentication. I try to be very careful, but it can happen that my Twitter handle gets compromised. And so be aware that can happen to anybody. And although we accumulate trust for these different reporters and content creators in the space, you can't ultimately trust a Twitter handle. You can trust a face, you can trust a voice a lot more, not 100%. So always verify in these situations and turn on your two-factor authentication. The more secure version of two-factor authentication is using an authenticator app like Google Authenticate. That's what I use for a lot of my stuff. And just implement that. Better safe than sorry. So, we've talked a bit about the emotions that can trigger you to make a mistake, get compromised, something that's too good to be true, really wanting to get into a collection, seeing an opportunity, not really thinking about, whether or not it's a legitimate offer from the legitimate project, your device, the devices you use. I know a lot of people are accustomed to having their wallet on both their desktop and their mobile device. And this is where we get into a lot of personal preference. Some people prefer to have completely separate wallets on the same seed phrase. Some people prefer to have completely separate seed phrases for different things that they do. So let's talk about your seed phrase, how to store it, and some things that that you should be aware of in managing your risk. And yeah, so what is the seed phrase? The seed phrase is either a 12 or 24 word string of words that is basically the reverse key to your private key. Your private key is your like the key to the ignition of your car. Whoever has the key to your car can drive it off wherever they want. If someone takes control of your private key, they can take control of your wallet. And your private key is your seed phrase. So your public address where you use to receive crypto or NFTs, that can be posted publicly. You might receive some airdrops that you don't want, but nobody can compromise your wallet by knowing your public address. It's the private key that that people seek and can compromise you. So some like basic security 101 on your seed phrase. Never store it virtually. I know that it's very common if you're setting up a new wallet or a Phantom or a Coinbase wallet or even MetaMask to just screenshot those 12 words and move on with the setup process. But that's very dangerous. If your photos are stored on an iCloud or anywhere on a cloud server, you could be targeted, and there are bots that can scrape to find the photos or the text file in your notes that has your seed phrase. Be very sure that you have your seed phrase written on a analog form, like a piece of paper, and stored in a safe place where you know what it is. Never when interacting with a mint or claiming something from a project website will you need to enter your seed phrase to do so. In fact, if you leave your computer and then you're prompted suddenly to approve a signature, just close the browser, start over. You should only be signing transactions if you've triggered something. So if suddenly a transaction pops up, like for example, when you go to the VFriends website, it asks you to connect immediately. I always close it out. Even though I know I'm on the safe VFriends website, I want to be the one unlocking my wallet. I don't want it to be triggered for me. So going back to the seed phrase, keep it analog and have a copy. There's a security 201 version of this, which is like you'll also need to have your family or your loved ones in the event of your passing. They also need to know where your seed phrase is and how to utilize it. That's something that maybe you can include in your will, but ultimately you shouldn't be sharing your seed phrase with anyone. So have a protocol in place upon your passing, but like really no one should know your seed phrase. There's a lot of different versions of this. I think famously Vitalik Buterin has his seed phrase split up into like 5 or 6 different parts with 5 or 6 different people, and nobody knows who those other people are except for him. Some people like to have them etched and then kept in a security lockbox. There is some personal preference here, but for sure, do not store it on a digital platform. Make sure to keep it analog. Your seed phrase is the key to your wallet. Anybody who has the key can drive that car wherever they want. They can approve, they can send, they can accept wrapped offers, they can do anything. So really be mindful of where your seed phrase is stored. The next thing I want to discuss is diversifying the uses of your wallets. And I will try to keep this to 60 minutes. So if I'm going over anything too fast, you can always hit me up on Twitter for a little bit of elaboration. I'm also going to link a Twitter thread in the podcast show notes from You Making Me Crazy or Blockchain Ninja, who's a great security expert in the space and walks through how to set up different wallets on separate Google profiles to isolate the risk. So what does that look like? In essence, the kind of like most basic way of diversifying risk in your wallets is having a high risk, a low risk, and a no risk wallet. And you can very easily generate new wallets. If you're in Phantom or MetaMask, all you do is click on your browser extension, then go to the profile icon in the top right, And below your account summary, you'll see create an account. By clicking that, you'll be asked to name it, and you'll create a brand new wallet address. So if you're interacting with a free mint or something that maybe this is something you want to move fast, and you're skipping the verify process, de-risk yourself by generating a new wallet. And that way, if that wallet gets compromised, the other wallets on your seed phrase will not get compromised, because any wallet, any new account that you create is all tied to the same seed phrase. Now, if you are interacting with that new wallet and then you enter your seed phrase, well, now you've compromised all of the wallets attached to it. But don't do that. So that could be a high risk wallet, a minting wallet, something that it's okay to connect it to sites that you're not super familiar with, because at any given time, you're not holding valuable NFTs there, and you're not holding a meaningful amount of crypto. If you're going into a mint, maybe it's not free. Maybe you have to pay 0.2 ETH for it. Well, then from your low risk wallet, you can transfer ETH there. Once you've minted, then you can transfer that NFT either to your low risk or to your no risk vault wallet. So in the middle with your low risk wallet, this is more of like a trading wallet, something that you wouldn't mint with very often, if at all, and you would use to connect to marketplaces and buy, sell, and trade. That's it. You know, if you have like a valuable NFT and you need to connect it to a project wallet to claim something, you know, just be very sure of where you're connecting. A lot of projects now are also incorporating a delegate system where you can use, I think it's delegate.cash or warmwallet.xyz, or I think it's just warm.xyz, and assign a separate wallet to claim utilities, so you never have to connect either your low risk or your no risk wallet. So let's talk about the no risk wallet. This would be your vault, your cold wallet, and ideally your hardware wallet. This is one where you only send things in. If you have something in there that you decide to sell, send it out. Don't connect this wallet to anything if at all possible. That way it has no risk. If you want to be extra careful, you can keep it on a separate seed phrase. And if you're not familiar with how to assign different seed phrases to different Google profiles, that Twitter thread that I mentioned walks you through it. But essentially in Google, you can have a number of profiles on the same email address. And basically, you can create an unlimited number of seed phrases. You can have a wallet that's just for trading, a wallet that's just for minting, a wallet that's just for vaults, or just for staking, just for DeFi. You know, you can iterate on this as much as you want. But what's most important is that you don't have all of your valuable NFTs in the wallet that you're interacting with just anything willy-nilly. So the last thing to discuss here, and I know this has been a lot, so as I said, please feel free to ask me for any follow-ups, but the last thing to be aware of is the hardware wallet. I use a Ledger wallet. You can use Trezor. There are other options. But as soon as you're holding any more than $100 or $200 worth of assets, I personally think it's worth the $100, $120 cost of getting a Ledger. Now, this won't protect you from everything, because if you sign a bad transaction with your Ledger that sets approvals for everything in there, then you'll still be compromised. But it gives you that extra step in which every transaction you approve from a Ledger connected wallet will have to also be approved manually from you. That also means that if your device is compromised, they can't engage, like let's say somebody takes over your computer, they can't engage a transaction unless they have that hardware piece. I'm running up against time, so I'm going to stop the recording and we'll go deeper on Ledger wallets. One sec. All right, taking a breath. How was that? How do we like that? What are we thinking? Yes, Gas Fairy's right. Soon enough they will be able to use AI videos, which is a shame. Yeah, Dom, you are here. Dom, you're in the Twitter. Presto, thank you for the retweet, and shout out to the 4 people watching on Twitter, and shout out to the 4 people watching on Twitch. Okay. All right, back to it. So, as I was saying, a ledger is not the end all be all of security. If you make an emotional mistake, you sign a bad transaction, you'll still compromise the wallet that you're using, or whatever the case may be. It's very I haven't seen a lot of scams where approving a transaction compromises your entire seed phrase, but if your computer is compromised, then and you have it stored digitally, that's more of a situation in which your private key and your seed phrase can be compromised. I guess the other thing to address about ledgers is one misconception is that your ledger becomes your wallet and that your crypto and your NFTs are stored on the actual hardware device. That's not how it works. Your ledger is basically a secondary key to your wallet. So where your seed phrase is the ultimate key. And if somebody were to get the seed phrase to your ledger, they could import it on a different device. The ledger becomes sort of a controller for the car, and it will have to, approve any transactions that go through. But ultimately, like even if you're looking at your OpenSea profile, your NFTs don't live in your wallet. They actually live in the smart contracts that they come from, and the smart contract keeps a record that your wallet address is the controller of that specific token. So it's similar in a ledger device. If you were to break your ledger or put it through the washing machine or something, you lose it. If you lose it, then so long as you have your seed phrase, you will have no problem, because you can not reset, but you can import your wallet onto any hardware device with the seed phrase that you use. And this is also worth saying, we often say never share your seed phrase or never enter your seed phrase. The one instance in which you will need your seed phrase and have to input it is during a recovery process. So I have a wallet on my desktop computer, for example. If my desktop were to fail, I could no longer use it, it broke down, something happened, hardware failure. By having my seed phrase, I would be able to use that to recover my account and have access to all of those wallets on a new device that I use to set up that access. So yes, please use a ledger or a hardware wallet. I know that a lot of people tend to buy them and then not set them up because it feels hard to do or scary. Reach out to somebody in the community, work on it together. There's a bunch of people who will step you through this. I did the same thing. It took me like 2 months to set up my ledger, and it took me about 2 hours to do it all proper. But now I have the security that if ever I decide like this is something I want to hold for a long time, I just send it to the proper address, and I'm carefree because I don't connect that wallet to anything. I guess it's worth mentioning on the security and safety 101 here that if you send something to the wrong address, it's lost forever. So that's why, you should never be typing in the address you're sending something to manually. You should copy and paste it. If you're unsure that you have the right address, you can do a test transaction by sending a small amount of crypto or an NFT that you don't care about. Man, as I'm talking through this, there's so many other things to be aware of. Let's talk about scam airdrops. You might find in your wallet or in your hidden folder that you have NFTs that you don't recognize. It does happen that projects will airdrop NFTs as gifts. They may not have a lot of liquidity, it might just be art or something. But what happens even more frequently is people sending advertising or phishing scams via hidden NFTs. And so what that might look like is you get the NFT, and the ploy is to get you to be curious about it, click into the link in the description in the metadata, and then either download malware or connect your wallet. So in that instance, if you find them in your wallet, it's best to not list or transfer them, but just hide them. I know this isn't the ideal solution, but that's currently the best course of action that we have. The other thing as far as these airdrops go. I haven't seen it as much recently, but there was a scam in which you were airdropped a token that had a wrapped ETH offer on it, which is basically a bid that you can accept at any time. And to really reduce like the way in which this scam operates, the 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 wrapped ETH offer is real, and the wallet offering the wrapped ETH has the amount of Ethereum to complete the transaction, but the approval for OpenSea to pull that wrapped ETH from the wallet is rescinded. And so if you were trying to accept it, it would fail. And again, they're trying to get you to go into the metadata, connect to the website, or seek out why that isn't working and phish you in another way. Ultimately, there are more attack vectors than I've listed here, and I know that I sort of went in a lot of different directions. But at the end of the day, be aware of how you're keeping your seed phrase secure. Be aware of the devices you're using and where your seed phrase is currently logged on. And most importantly, be aware of your mindset and the emotions that are affecting you making these decisions. You should never be like blasé or casual about transactions you're signing. There are people who have been in the space for a decade and are still as cautious as they were on day one, because while knowledge is power, as I said at the beginning, setting up these security protocols is making sure that your most vulnerable self, the person that wants to FOMO into something or move too fast, has protections. This is another reason, like another layer of security regarding your no risk wallet, is not having all of your valuable NFTs there. Maybe something happens, you get targeted, you sign a bad transaction, and you lose, you set an approval for all. Well, if you have your valuable NFTs dispersed among 3, 4, 5 wallets, then you've now diversified your risk. And in the event of something bad happening, you're not out all of your assets, but only a portion. It's still terrible, but it's better than the alternative. So I guess another thing, and I know there's always another thing when it comes to security, isn't there? Another thing is that I would say there's kind of a heightened sense of fear around clicking links in the space. And some of it, in my opinion, goes a bit irrational. But on the other hand, it's like, can you really be too safe? And that's a conversation you're going to have with yourself, especially as you're having more and more assets, value, more and more of your net worth in this space. Like, safe is better than sorry, for sure. But if you want to go the extra mile when you're interacting with a new link, you can use what's called a virtual machine. This is something that I haven't heard discussed a lot, but it doesn't actually require a ton of tech savvy and will save you a lot of headache if you are just wary. If you want to explore more, like you want to, click the bio links of various people, but you're afraid that just by clicking, you'll get this malware or, some like a keylogger that tries to steal your password or something of that effect, install a virtual machine on your computer. I actually asked ChatGPT to explain to me what a virtual machine is, and it gave a great summary. So a virtual machine essentially has a few benefits. It isolates the computing that happens on your device. So it runs on a separate virtualized environment, which means that any malware or malicious software that infects the virtual machine will be isolated from the host operating system and any other virtual machines running on the same host. If it can do sandboxing, which basically means that you can run potentially untrusted software or browse untrusted websites without fear of compromising your host operating system. Some of them they're also easier to monitor, and they can revert to a snapshot, so they can go backward to a version of the virtual machine that was safe. And it's a very simple process. You basically download and install the virtual software. VMware Fusion or VirtualBox was suggested here, but obviously do a Google search, verify whether it's on a subreddit or somewhere else that this is a legitimate virtual machine. And then open the software, create your virtual machine, and select the operating system you're using. Allocate the necessary resources in the way of CPU, storage, and RAM. install to your operating system, and then you can start the machine and use it like a regular computer. The one caveat here is that a virtual machine, just like a hardware wallet, is not an impenetrable wall. There are very high level viruses and hacks that can, if downloaded on a virtual machine, can circumvent the sandbox and affect your primary operating system. But by and large, it's not that it's not a concern. It's just highly uncommon. This is not, again, it's not an end all be all. It just diversifies your risk, and it allows you to interact with some links that you might otherwise be cautious to do. So one last thing I want to tag on here at the end. I always say I want these podcasts to be 30 minutes, and they never are. So that's just to be expected at this point. One thing I want to add on here at the end is going to IRL events. I actually posted a podcast about this. You'll find it from last May, right before VCon, but this applies to the Proof Collective event, the NFT NYC, NFT LA, anything like this. When you have a lot of people who have a high net worth in the same place, it becomes easier to target them. And there's some sort of best practices you can use. The very best practice is to just remove your crypto wallet from your mobile device. You can go so far as to log out and delete the apps of your bank accounts and your social channels if you're concerned about that. But you can just remove them. And then when you return from your trip with your seed phrase, you can recover your device and add it back. Another version would be to not have access to your vault or low risk wallet on your mobile device and only a minting wallet. So in the case that you are compromised, your device is stolen or something, you connect to a bad Wi-Fi, then you've sort of sectioned off the risk that you could lose. As far as bad Wi-Fi goes, don't use a personal hotspot whenever possible. Don't connect to public Wi-Fi servers at these events. Even if it's like provided by the conference and, they're doing their due diligence to make sure it's safe, it doesn't mean that a targeted attack can't get through their security systems. We want to believe that these projects have security officers and the right protocols in place to circumvent a compromise like this. But shit happens, like bad things happen, and you just want to be mindful. There is a higher level hack that happens through a charging cable. So my understanding is you can actually buy these cables that will compromise devices that they're plugged into. So like, basically the way to not be got by this scam would be it's very common to like carry a battery pack if you're like out all day. And so someone that you may have just met who might be socially engineering you has this battery pack with a cable, and they see your phone is dying. They're like, hey, use my cord. I can charge your phone. Don't do that. Use your own cords. Even if you don't want to walk around with the cable, keep your own charging cord. And ideally keep your own battery. I think they can both be attack vectors, but that's something to be aware of. And, if you absolutely need access to a wallet while you're at one of these events, do what you can to sandbox it. Set up a new seed phrase, transfer the relevant asset there. Right now, a lot of these projects are using token proof and other things, so you don't have to have authorizations for your wallet on your mobile device. But whether it's Wi-Fi or like a bad charging cable, or somebody just comes up to you and steals your device, make sure that is not going to, ruin your portfolio or sort of wreck you in that way. I guess talking about all the security stuff gets a little heavy. There are lots of attack vectors out there, and there are a lot of people who are looking to take advantage of people who don't have their security protocols in place. But at the end of the day, like, please don't live in fear. Just actually do the things that security professionals have been saying for months and months and months, and then monitor yourself when you're interacting with your wallets. Actually get a hardware wallet, actually set it up, diversify your risk. Don't keep all your assets in one place. If you're interacting with a new site and you're not sure, but you want to like poke around, set up a brand new wallet, a new account within your MetaMask, or go the extra mile and set up an entirely new seed phrase. Make sure to secure that seed phrase in an analog format. Keep it somewhere safe. Know where it is. And have two-factor authentication with an authenticator app on all of your social channels that allow it. Doing those few things alone will do so much. And then, yes, if you're concerned about links, and you should be, you can use a virtual machine. If you're using Windows, like an updated version of Windows, it's actually built into the operating system. It's just called Sandbox. If you're using Mac, you'll need to download a software to do that. And if all of that stuff, like being connected to the internet like if having your crypto wallet on a internet device is concerning you, then I would suggest getting like a Raspberry Pi or a low cost laptop and only interacting with crypto on that device. Many people have been in the space for a long time, do just that. They have a wholly separate system for all of their crypto stuff, and it doesn't use the internet except during those moments where they're executing transactions. It's not shared with any of their Google accounts, their cloud storages, or any apps they might be downloading. The gray area here is like even the most trusted accounts, as we've seen time and time again, of Discord servers getting compromised, moderators being impersonated, admins being impersonated, like compromises can happen even at the highest level where we hold our trust. And so, as I said at the very beginning, the responsibility is yours. If you are going to navigate into this wonderful world of Web3, you have to understand that you are the sovereign of your value and of the assets you hold, and it is ultimately your responsibility to verify the transactions you're making before you make them, and diversify your risk in a way that if you make a mistake, which has happened to some of the most intelligent people in the space, that it does not impact your ability to still be here. The worst thing we've seen is people that don't diversify their risk, they get completely drained, and then they can't spend any time here because like their literal physical security is at threat because of how much value they lost. So while we don't ever want to lose 5, 10, 20% of our portfolio, it's a hell of a lot better than losing 100% of it. So please take this seriously. Please share this podcast with a friend, and just do it. Just do it. Like, open up you're listening to this on your phone, on the go, whatever. Open up your calendar, find a day, a weekend, a day off, a day with like less meetings, set aside an hour, 2 hours to do this, to set up your ledger, to even just review and understand where your vulnerabilities lie, and start to actually take the action to take this self-sovereignty in the crypto space seriously. Please, from the bottom of my heart, I ask you every podcast to mint my NFT and hit me up on Twitter and pump my engagement. Like, forget about all that. Please, if you could just do one thing for me, actually take your security in the space seriously. Understand the risks that I have mentioned to you. Follow the breadcrumbs, go a little bit deeper, and just protect yourself. Just please protect yourself. Because shit, man, like I'm the one that gets the DMs. Like I'm sure you see the Twitter posts and you get the DMs as well. But like when somebody in the VFriends community gets hacked, I'm one of the first people they go to, and it's terrible. Like, I've literally had DMs with people and they're like, hey, I'm trying to do this trade. And I'm like, hey, just be careful. Make sure you're using the official NFT trader website. Like, don't get socially engineered. And then like a couple hours later, they're like, oh man, you were right. Like, I should have listened to you. And like, this is not about like I'm not perfect either. Like, I need to do the same kind of like security, maintenance, hygiene that I'm talking about. But I know for sure that my most valuable assets are held in a place that never gets connected to absolutely anything except for the befriends.com. So please, Last thing I'll say, I know I just like kind of went on an impassioned rant. I really mean it. I really, really mean it. Like, please take care of this. But the last thing I'll say is like connecting to project sites. Um, just be aware of the type of transaction you're signing. When it comes to like Collabland or connecting to befriends.com, those transactions are view and read only. It basically just means that you're giving the site permission to look at your wallet address and see what's there. And thankfully, VFriends very soon, it would seem, is implementing a no wallet connect verification that would allow you to verify your vault on VFriends.com without ever connecting your wallet. But even if you're in the 10KTF ecosystem and you're using Warm Wallet, you still have to connect to that site. So just make sure you're on the proper site and you're signing a view transaction, not any approval for all transaction. And MetaMask has gotten better at kind of putting some plain text about what these transactions mean. I know there's a lot more transactions and types of scams to be aware of, but I thought that this was a good overview. Thanks for going with me on the journey. I hope that this added 5 minutes of like take this seriously is getting you to at least consider spending some time this week and making sure it's in place. Again, like the far majority of these are human error and completely preventable. So I love you. I want you to be safe in this space. We need you here. We need your voice here. Like the worst thing is just when you see really, I've said enough. It just really sucks to see people that work so hard, find themselves compromised and then unable to continue the good work they were doing because they were overextended or they didn't diversify their risk, and now like they have to prioritize their safety. And so prioritize your safety before you get attacked. That way, whatever you're building here, whatever you're looking to build, actually can continue. It's the same way we maintain our body and we get good sleep and we drink water and we eat good food. Like security hygiene is a real thing. And if you needed a sign to finally buy that ledger or to finally take care of it, this is your sign. Take it seriously. Thank you. This has been a bit of a rant, but also hopefully like a focused review of some security 101 need to know things about navigating the crypto and Web3 space here on the Jeremy Knows podcast. Thank you for your time and attention as always. If you want to support the content we make here, you can go to mint.jeremyknows.com or go to the link in my Twitter bio to learn more about it. All of the utilities are outlined at gen0.jeremyknows.com. Your mint goes directly to supporting me and the content that I make here and the time I spend in the space. So very grateful to the 198 holders we have and the nearly 300 mints. My gratitude goes out to you. I hope you'll join our community. If not, share this content, this podcast with somebody who needs to take care of their security hygiene. This has been the Jeremy Knows podcast. I'm your host, Heart Trooper 7, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace. Great podcast. You gotta love a little Jeremy rant at the end, even if it goes on for 10 minutes. You gotta love it. Good stuff. You are welcome, Gas Fairy. It does need to be reviewed regularly. I totally agree. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, yeah, it's just it happened to NFT God. It happened to Crypto Novo. It happens all the time. It happens to a bunch more people that we don't hear about because they don't have as big a platform. So it was an important time to recap this. I'm gonna get this podcast up. So Security 101 Part 1. What's up beyond that? Anybody have questions or comments that they wanna add? I'm here for it. Nice. Cisco gave me a posture check. I appreciate that. What does this say? Hey Cisco, Do I need to stretch? Yes, you do need to stretch. No, these things are for these points on the Twitch are really for me, but I haven't like updated them in so long. Like I need to. The thing is, like, I need to be watching the Twitch to see them come in live. But I thank you for the stretch. I'm going to take that little stretch. Um, and I think I made everything a little too cheap actually because you guys accrue points so fast. But Twitch is such a powerful tool. I really want to learn to use it better. Yeah, it's like it would be so fun if like somebody like Gasperia Redeemed to sing us a jingle, and it's like it would be so fun if during the podcast I saw this thing and started to sing, but oh well, I wasn't paying attention. I was just focused on keeping the lens on the security, bitty, something like that. And then it would become a trope, like people who listen to the podcast after the fact would know I recorded live, and like that. But I think I have to make that more expensive because it's like a big interruption. Gary is giving away a signed alert ape jacket. Is he now? I did see. I got a notification about a tweet from him, but I wasn't sure what it said. Gonna give away. Maybe sign that and let someone do the flip life. Wow. Wow, I want this so badly. That's fun. That's fun. See what's up with Bender. What's this? So sad. So sad. People are dunking on NFT God, and it's like I just don't see the value in it. But to each their own. Okay. Security 101, Security 101, Part 2. Podcast. I guess I'll share my screen so that it's like, what is this guy even doing? If anyone outside the US wants an Alert Ape jacket, there's still some for sale at the End Clothing. Oh, yeah. I remember they did like some sale at the end of the year. Opportunities. I wish, but I'm not in the market for that right now. Okie dokie. Uh, do 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 do. I'll also leave this. I'll leave this security thread in the Twitch chat for you all, so you can check it out. Jeremy knows ASMR. Yeah, I saw that mint, Gas Fairy. So what's interesting about this is it's forever. It's unlimited supply forever. So if anyone ever wants an Amber Vittoria piece, they can get this for 0.08, which is very cool. And I could also imagine a situation where like maybe somebody gets it, or somebody wants it but doesn't know they can mint it. But my understanding was it's not a limited time thing. It's anti FOMO. Um, did I say? I should totally have an affiliate link for Ledger, but I don't. What else? What else? What else? Revoke.cash. Okay, I think that's good. Do 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 do. Cool. That's posted. Any more comments? What's going on? I think there's a burn thing that's going to happen. Oh, that's fun. I like a lot of these artists now are playing with different burn features. I've been doing the same. Um like I basically started. I guess I haven't really talked about this a lot because I haven't figured out exactly how it's going to work. But one of the visions. It's funny because like I've just been reflecting a lot about how it's so much harder to execute things than to come up with the ideas. And I know that that's super obvious, but especially being a one-man team, like there's a lot of things that I wanted to do for Jeremy Knows by now that haven't been done, which is like on the one hand disappointing, but on the other hand, just like got to keep rolling with it. And even just like simple inbound of opportunities, like between content, sales, collabs, and like the vision, it's like I just don't have the capacity for all of it, which is like something I'm grappling with. And one of those visions was that like this token is Gen 0, and that either Gen 1 or Gen 2 would start to be more of a iterated service-based NFT. So for example, instead of being able to burn the NFT for any of these services that I provide, that you would have to buy the Spaces NFT and burn that, or ideally even redeem it, and then that way you still get to keep an NFT, but it's not like it doesn't have the value of the utility anymore, and that's why I want to get like a actual burn interface and not just burn them the way I have. But whether it's spaces or consulting or setting up a ledger or doing these things that like I've been doing, that they're separated into various types of NFTs, whether they're 1155 or otherwise, and that way I can also set my prices, right? It's like instead of having like this open IOU that I have with the Gen 0, the Gen 1 or 2 would be like, it costs 0.25 ETH to do a sponsored Twitter Spaces, and you can buy it and redeem it. And there's like a lot of kinks to work out, right? Because like I don't want to just like approve anybody who can pay for it. Like I want to make sure it's a safe project to be promoting. So this is kind of like a small step in that direction where I made a collection called On-Chain Charms. And because they're minted on Manifold provides a burn mechanism where you can burn them for other NFTs, and soon you'll be able to burn multiple for other NFTs. And so I've just been playing with like artwork on Midjourney and other AI tools, and have started to mint some of them in this On-Chain Charms collection. And I'm looking to like kind of do some activations where, if you have this charm, well, for a limited time, you can claim this. And I'm seeing a lot of artists do the same. Like obviously Terrell Dom is probably the most successful in this right now, but a lot of people, experimenting with open editions that have some kind of utility on the backside. And I've also really enjoyed Depeche Node's like analysis of this, basically saying that while this is really cool and it's nice to like give collectors an extra bonus for something that they might be doing, it does change the dynamic that now collectors are buying for the utility as opposed for the art. And so less people are buying the art, which is one of the things that's so powerful about one-of-one art and editions, is like they don't have external factors. They're just valuable based on the art. So I think that's like an interesting dynamic that is still playing out. Comments. Is it psychological question? Do you feel more productive or get more done when live and know people are watching? Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. For me, at least. That's how I feel. I don't think it's a little bit of a catch-22, because there's some things that like I want to do privately, but I also like want to follow the document, don't create model. But like obviously people like to be surprised, right? But like there have been times where like I've been live and recorded a whole podcast and like haven't had the time to post it right that minute, and then it gets delayed for so long or doesn't get posted at all. And so I do like to have the social pressure of like witnessing. It definitely keeps me going, and I've learned more actually through doing this content that I need to speak through ideas to really think them out. So like I talk to myself a lot, like all the time. I'm like around my house when I'm not live, like I'm constantly like humming little jingles and singing songs and like talking to myself. So that's maybe a way in which I like observe myself for that accountability to get things done. But it also just has to do with simple distractions. Like I'm constantly getting notifications. Like there's so many platforms to check. There's so many projects and protocols that like I'm interested in researching and learning more to make content about. So yes, I really do like. I not only do I like it, I think I am also more productive when I'm live. And I remember one time I went live to. This is probably still on my YouTube. I don't think I took it down. I went live to write my cover letter for VFriends or update my resume or something. And after a short period of time, like it started to get a little boring and it wasn't moving very fast. And I was like, what is the value in this? Like, why would anyone watch this? And like, obviously like people were disappearing. And then at one point, like nobody was watching, and I was just working live. And like, on the one hand, I really like that. But on the other hand, like I'm not immune to like the social judgment. Like as much as I'd like to not be affected by other people's opinions, I still am. So I remember that was a moment where I was like, okay, I don't need to be live to do this. I can just have discipline. I can just work. But personally, I definitely prefer a little bit of fire under my ass, a little bit of like observation. Cisco, I think you're asking about the Amber Victoria NFT, and I would say it's definitely not one to flip. Like you can try, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of demand to flip because their community is going to know that it's an open mint. It's an art piece, so it's really meant to be held as such. Like it's art, just something nice to have in your wallet. And the community is, from my experience, is very active. Like Amber's done a great job of like really getting to know her collectors, and they love the work that she does. She's got a very positive outlook. She's a former Vayner employee who decided to go full time on art. She's got a fun story. You don't need to buy this token to join that community, but definitely you could. Coles, did you miss the podcast on taxes? Did you? I don't know if I recorded one. I recorded one on tax loss harvesting, but I haven't recorded one on like more broadly crypto taxes. I think I did last year. Let me see. Yeah, so I recorded this one about tax loss harvesting, 220. Can I search my own podcast? I feel like search is like not really that great. So there's tax loss harvesting here. Aha, here's one. NFT taxes. I'll link this for you. I guess the search wasn't so bad. I am not a tax expert. None of this is formal tax advice. I'm just sharing what I've learned. I mean, if we really want to go there, I kind of have to get to other things, but Merry Christmas and taxes. Can you hear the podcast? Oh. So you got it last year. Yeah. We don't need to listen to that podcast. There's not a whole lot to update, to be honest. I mean, if you have a specific question, I can try to answer it now, but broadly, it's just knowing that and I think maybe we did a Twitter Spaces on it. I think we did a Twitter Spaces. I haven't done an updated podcast, but crypto to fiat, crypto to crypto, and crypto purchases are all taxable. So I actually really, so many things I want to do. I really want to make a spreadsheet, and I have one, but it's like it's not really refined or ready to share. But it's a spreadsheet basically where on one side I track my crypto and on the other side I track my NFTs so that I can keep track of my cost base. And so I can just decide what I want to do is make it so that it can actually shift to show you how your taxes would be different if you were using the different tax methods, because there's HIFO, FIFO, and LIFO. There's highest in, first out, last in, first out, and first in, first out. And they have various implications about your taxable gains, but I haven't been able to figure that out yet of how to like toggle. But that would be the idea. Zisco, I see your tweet, but I'm not sure what it means. Oh, you're waiting for the next. No replay. Yes, it's on my YouTube. There actually is a replay. I forgot. So I should probably sign off soon. But let me just check this out. Oh yeah, I'm still live on Twitter. Gouache. Give each of us enough time and we all become philosophers. Just replying to some tweets. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Thanks, K Coles. I can totally get an affiliate link from Ledger. I just don't have it. I should just have a bunch. I should just start doing affiliate marketing. That would probably help. Need to try Coinly. The softwares I'm using isn't reading layer 2. That's my biggest question. Got it. So yeah, let's talk about Coinly. So I'm working with an accountant who's using Coinly, and so I signed up for it with their like business account, and I feel like it's pretty affordable. You know, they charge me hourly, so you know it can get to be a lot, but they basically took care of it for me, and then they provided me a report where it showed me where my largest deltas were of capital gains versus capital losses, so I could kind of take some strategic losses. And I can refer you to them if you want. But I didn't actually go into Coinly and see how it reviewed layer 2. I just said make sure you're not missing it, and she told me that it views immutable X, and I didn't really ask any questions. So a bit of a optimistic ignorance there. Do 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 do. Gary V's a tweeting. Gary V is a tweeting. I'd like you to begin working on getting to do a live AMA with Gary at VCon. That would be legendary. Cool. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, Cole, shoot me a DM with your email, and I can email you her contact. Happy to do that. Okay. Thanks for hanging out. I hope that this was useful. Definitely important. So do it. I'm gonna run, but I guess keep an eye out for the giveaway today. Seems like an Alert Ape jacket is going to be given away. Gary T's actually okay. One more thing. There's always one more thing. One more thing before we sign off. I think Gary did some messaging in the Discord. Let's see. Anything new? Announcement has the. Oh no, that was yesterday. Where's the floor at? Is the floor yeah, back to mint price. Love to see it. Cage on the floor. Okay, so let's play a game. I'm gonna make this a little bigger. Of the tokens on the floor, like these first 2 rows, which one are you picking? Let's say you have 0.33. Let's say you have 1 ETH. Let's say you have 1 ETH. What's the number 1? What's your number 2? 1 ETH, but you have to spend it here. I asked Gary if he would use Vayner Watt to make a film of his life and use Corso as a young Gary. He said no. That's so funny. So the options are Independent Inchworm at the Sorcerer's Schoolyard, classic. Serious Sperm Whale manifesting in the Mindful Meadow. Stun Sun competing, or is this classic pose? Competing at the coffee shop. Courteous Coyote manifesting at the Too Long Tunnel. Graceful Goldfish resting at the competitive cage. Like a Sponge resting in the arcade. Balanced Beetle resting at Dogwood Meadows. Sufficient Shrimp competing in the dirt. Boldest Bat strategizing at the courtside seats. Glowing Glowworm resting in the Rose Garden. Proactive Piranha Classic in the Forever Fields. And Independent Inchworm competing in the Graveyard. I think this is interesting because it's like, what do you value more, scene or character? And I guess for me, with these, I'm going to go with, and I guess I'm also a little biased because I'm thinking about my own collection. Like, I already have these. I have these 3 scenes, and I also have the dirt scene, and I also have the Rose Garden scene, and I also have the Graveyard scene. So I have most of these scenes. This Sorcerer Schoolyard is the scene that I want the most, but personally, I'm going to take the Bold Bat at the courtside seats, and then I'm going to take the Stun Sun in the coffee shop. What about you? Yeah, Gas Fairy's about the Stun Sun. Coles is going to favor the scenes and go Cage and Arcade. We have seen a bunch of scenes organized or a bunch of activations organized around scenes, so that makes sense. I wonder how some of the like how's the Lucky Cat doing? Forgot there's a bunch of cats. Oh, what a great one. Oh my gosh. Some of these are so fun. So what is this right now? This is almost $6,000. Kind of crazy, to be honest. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, I'm a little. I don't know if bearish is the right word, but maybe it is. Like, I would love one too, Gas Fairy. I would absolutely love one, but I'm a little bearish on the Black Cat having a irrational pricing. You know, like, I feel like because like Patient Panda is a third of the cost and arguably a bigger character, you know, arguably. This floor is really thin. This one's fun. This one's really fun. What about, where's the elephant? Elephant is at 1.6. Interesting. What about Alien? $0.85. I feel like that's a little down. I want an alien so bad. There was one of these aliens. I'll find it. It was this one. This one that sold for 0.9 ETH. I was negotiating with this guy for so long, and I think I offered him 0.85, and he didn't come back before he accepted this. And I was like, mother. But it's okay. This one's beautiful too. This one would be really fun. I wonder if this person minted, hasn't moved it. See, this is what I mean, Coles, is like, it's easy enough to like just kind of, ooh, they got an admit. Ooh, they bought this admit one for 14 ETH. Wow. Oh, wow. This is a big spender. This is a really big spender. It also means they minted this one. Oh, and they've got a big loot bag. Oh my gosh, loot's still half an ETH, huh? Hash masks. Hash masks are down to 0.3. Jeez. This is like we're looking at a crypto OG here for sure. I mean, or they have a lot of money to spend, but I think it's more likely they've been in the space for a long time. Interesting. Haven't heard of this project, but it's got a decent floor. They've got a mint pass. Where's this collection at? Come on, right click. There we go. No, nope. Stop. I'm gonna open this up. There we go. Fluff World, nice. They got in Fluff World at a good price. I wonder how this person like relates to their NFTs, because like I could never find anything if I don't know why a lot of this stuff isn't hidden. Like, what is this rookie league and why do they have so many of them? Just so interesting. Like, everybody's got a different, affinity in the market. There's a Rug Radio membership. Rug Radio's, wait, is this the real Rug Radio? Why is it down to 0.02? Got the inner circle. So this is what I mean, Cole's like, I can get distracted super easily. And now I'm just like going to, oh, they have my Sorcerer J. But I must have sent this to them. Interesting. So that makes me think that they're alien, that they have an adaptable alien Gary originally owned. Okay, let's do this. sillytuna.eth. Here it is. Is this a go? Sorry, my internet's being weird. Yep. So that's so funny. Yeah. So I don't think this person's name was Silly Tuna back then, but here, I'll go back here. Man, my internet is being slow. My internet's being so slow. Yeah, wallet surfing is definitely addictive. Yeah, I would agree with you on the cat for sure. Is going on in Discord? Is that like happening now in Discord? Let me see. I love it when Gary asks questions he knows the answer to. Like, he knows people are going to want him to sign this, but it's just like he's having fun. What's a fun way? Gary asked, how should he give it away? And I said, push-up contest. So yeah, so if I search Sorcerer, so when I submitted my my scholarship application, I minted 56 tokens. I minted this one, but I also minted this 1 of 1. So this one is in Gary's wallet. And what's really awesome is, oh no, he didn't have to transfer it. Okay. I thought he had moved it to his new wallet. It's still in the VFriends vault, but when you unlock this, it like has my essay and it has me reading the essay, and I was just trying to be creative. And then I minted 55 of an animated version. I guess maybe I can be more patient. No, I feel like most people have no idea that this exists. Are you gonna load? Are you gonna do the thing, internet? There's a signed one on eBay for 6,000. Wow, that's kind of crazy. You know, at the Atlanta Gift Code event, King Saladin, Gary Vee, and Shaq all signed a Alert Ape jacket, and it went to the, I think it went to the third place winner. They did a game of a basketball game called Knockout, and the third place winner, maybe it was the second place, but I think the third place winner got a Alert Ape jacket with those 3 signatures on it, which is pretty cool. Is this really not going to load? Come on. Did OpenSea rug my metadata? What's going on? So clearly I was getting super creative. I like added levels. So at this point, Gary had already announced 12 and a half. So I gave myself some superpowers, and I gave myself a half, and my half was patience. Some attributes, some qualities, and chaotic good alignment. I wish it would load. It's like it'd be much better if it loaded. I'm just gonna wait. It's gonna load. It's gonna do its thing. Like, why? Just why? Why? But why? Is it something I said? Is it something I said? Like, it's gonna be really sad. Oh, there we go. Cool. So this is it. And it's me as the Sorcerer Scholarship, I guess, for comparison. Not everybody knows this, but this is like the reason I started making content is because of this token. You can see here, you get five 45-minute sessions with Gary and 30 hours with his personal and professional network and an internship at VaynerMedia. And like in the video down here, actually, I haven't watched this in so long. This is wild. This is like, I remember I watched this video and I was like, everything. I like took this so seriously. Okay. Get your shit figured out, Chrome. We're gonna let this buffer for a second because apparently my internet is just upset with me for no reason. I'm even plugged in hardline to the router. I don't really understand, but let it go. But yeah, anyway, so like a lot of people don't know this, but all of the Series 1 NFTs in the metadata have several files. They have the vector art. They have a video of Gary drawing the actual token, and they also have this token explainer video if they have access utility. Oh, you don't have the sound, huh? Okay, good. Let me fix that.
It was important for me to do some really incredible things in this project, and there may not be one that is more incredible than this. The scholarship sorcerer, the sorcerer of scholarships, 5 of them, 5 incredible individuals that a committee that I will pick to be third party to select, 5 individuals to have a incredible experience of mental.
Okay, you should be able to hear me now. Sorry about that. I was just saying while it's loading that I don't think that this video was out when I started the content or when they announced the website and everything.
Mentorship, learning, and opportunity. 5.
Come on. So like it was
45-minute sessions with me and your 4 other scholars.
Amazing.
Across this.
So as soon as I start talking, it's gonna start up again.
Here, 30 hours for the 5 of you together in a mini class.
Damn, 30 hours with his executive staff. Like the description of this like totally blew me away. But
30 hours of VaynerX executives with biggest moguls and VIPs.
There's something he says here at the end, which like totally sealed the deal. Like at one point,
I know in the world to teach you skills, to give you relationships, to show you.
And I remember when it was first announced, I commented in the Discord. I was like, somebody
new perspectives, an internship at a VaynerX company.
Bam, internship, hours, direct mentorship. I remember people are always asking Gary, like, when are you going to start a school? Your perspective's so great.
For all of the people in 2022.
And I replied to one of them like, the Sorcerer Scholarship is like Gary's first iteration of a school, and it was like probably the first reply I ever got.
And most of all, a relationship and a little school of 5.
A little school. And I was like, this is Gary's first. This was before this video came out, and I was like, this is Gary's first version of school. And it was the first reply I ever got from him. He said, I know.
5 with me in perpetuity. This is also a ticket to.
So yeah, he says there, and I know it's like super choppy. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. But he says like, it's also a relationship in perpetuity with.
So if I'll give you, we'll have that as well. This exciting. It's me to no end. I drew that sorcerer from my heart, and I will teach.
How long does it take to watch a 1 minute
mentor and friend up the 5 individuals who get this scholarship. This will not be something for purchase. This will be something you'll be submitting for.
Come on.
Through the website. I'm very excited about this and I can't wait to become family. And friends. See you soon.
Okay, let's try that again.
It was important for me to do some really incredible things in this project.
Really? It's like totally loaded and buffered.
And there may not be one that is more incredible than this.
Okay, well, we tried. So anyway, that's this token. And that's the reason I started making content. And so I wanted to be creative with my application. So I made this, I commissioned this artwork. I didn't draw this myself, which is obviously me as this character. And I went back and forth a long time of having the bowler. I was like really happy that we like made it this constellation in the background. So this is the first NFT that I ever minted. And I sent it to Gary. And in the unlockable content, it has this image, my essay, which was the submission, format, and an audio file of me reading the essay. But I really wanted to make sure that Gary received it because at that time, it's still to this day, but like it was kind of new at that time that Gary was getting airdropped NFTs like crazy. Like he was just getting airdropped stuff all the time. It was like early bull market hype. And so I minted 55 of this one, which I don't know, will this play? Maybe if I try to refresh it. My internet is just like so mad. But this is like just a little animation of the same image. You'll see if it wants to do it now. Yeah, just that. And there's a little music. It's a little classic music here. That's all. Yeah, you get the idea. So what I did is I minted 55 of these, and then I went back through the people that Gary had given Gary originally owned tokens to, and I started sending. So I sent one to Cranak, to his other wallet. I sent them to a couple people in the community too. Like I sent one to Aiden Tag. Like I don't know who these people are, but I do know that Gary gave them a go. So I assumed. So I gave one to Silly Tuna. I gave one to Jimmy ETH, AJ Vaynerchuk. Like Eric Zetterston is on this list. Nick Dio, Corso, D-Rock, Cameron Stewart, Tyler, a whole bunch of people. I gave one to Sal. I gave away almost all of them, except for I think I gave away the last 5 or so to community members. Like these people were really supportive of me early on. Namavand, Wu-Tang Clan, and yeah, and then somebody listed it for then I bought this one because somebody was like, all of the sales were from me. I was like, if you don't want it, I'll take it back. That's fine. But it was just a way for me to be like, I figured those people were going to be more attentive to what was coming into their wallets than Gary was. And I was right. I've actually met a couple people that were like, oh, you're the guy who sent me that sorcerer token. And I'm like, yeah, that was me. What have those people done in the last 72 hours? Specifically Tyler. Well, are you talking about Tyler? This is Tyler. I'm pretty sure, where'd he go? I'm pretty sure this is Tyler from 1:37 p.m. But I'm actually not sure. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think this. I don't actually know who this is. I don't think I know who this is. So in the last 72 hours, they've these are just airdrops from the flower girls they hold. Yeah, it looks like they haven't done anything. They probably are either using a different wallet now or this is cool. That's cool. For the Axe Lounge. But I think you're talking about Tyler Dowdle, who is a more active trader. I know he bought a VCon ticket recently. Where's this collection, by the way? 0.25. Tyler's picking up otters. He's looking for that rare background. He's made offers on Content Condor. Looks like he's putting out a lot of offers. He bought a VCon ticket. He sent some stuff to his vault. He's looking for a World of Women. He sold a VCon ticket. He sold 2 VCon tickets. And this checks. Oh yeah, I saw this. This is at 0.2 ETH. Huh. I can't remember where. Oh, right. It's a meme on the Verify thing. I can't remember where I saw this. I imagine it was probably cheaper than this. But yeah. I can't believe hashmax are so far down. It actually makes me want one. So cool. Hashmax is like an old project. This is down to 0.8. Jeez. That means Meta Heroes must be really low too. 6, yeah. Cool. Is this defunct or what's going on? Yeah, I thought you could earn rug token with this. I'm surprised this is so low. This was much higher, but I guess it's just I don't know, maybe there's an opportunity. Yeah. Anyway, I said I was going to go like 5 times. Oh, is that? Oh yeah, that was Tyler from 137. That makes sense. Tyler Dowd is he's a social platform strategist for VFriends. He runs like their social media, or I don't know that he runs it. I mean, he's a part of the creative team, I would imagine. He's often the person who's like on the accounts for VFriends or VCon, you know. I feel like I don't know if they got someone new. They definitely have a new cadence on the VFriends Twitter. So that may or may not be him, but he's typically the one that's like posting content on Instagram and on Twitter. Oh wow. Oh wow. Gary just said he might do the jacket giveaway for somebody who has an iconic. Or he said, should we give it to somebody who's a holder of an Alert Ape Series 2? Which would also be cool. This is such a big character too. Alert Ape sleeping. Is this one called The Beach? On the Sun Sea. Interesting. I wonder if there's a nice. This person knows what they want. I'd love to see it'll just be easier if I do this. Stun Sun on the Sun Sea. Like that's a steal. Like 0.4 for this combo is such a steal. I think this one's my favorite though. Yeah. Yeah, but there's no evolving. There's no evolving. Let's see, what else is Gary saying? I really should sign off. Somebody's like not waiting for me, but waiting to hear from me. Oh, it looks like he did. So he said, should we give it to somebody who owns a Series 2 ape? Then should it be somebody who owns an iconic? And he said, probably should be evolving pose. That's what we were talking about. We were alert to pick it up. And then he said, I like VCon tickets. And now he's posted a tweet where he said, the people eligible for the jacket will be holders of VCon NFT ticket NFTs or holders of VF1 or VF2 or Defense Iconics. Okay, so it's basically if you're a holder, you're eligible. Cool. I wonder if they'll do another like retweet picker or if they're gonna try and do something else. Okay. Cool. So we'll kind of wait to see how that plays out. Well, I appreciate y'all hanging out. I hope it was fun. Yeah, I guess not really sure what the giveaway requirement is just yet, but it will probably be a retweet situation. I'd keep an eye on the Discord. They tend to give like half an hour, 15 minutes or so to enter. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. And yeah, this stream is now so long. Somebody's like tuning in to the replay of this stream to learn about security, and they're like, wait, why is it 2 hours? So anyway, much love. Have a great day. Wishing you the best, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.